independent human rights media project OVD-Info is a vital source of independent and reliable information on political persecution in Russia. Brilliant and brave, they document arrests and provide legal aid to thousands of protesters. Thanks to their work, dissent cannot be silenced in secret.
You know, it's quite dangerous to be born in Russia, and it's quite dangerous to do anything in Russia. And in reality, there is no such huge distinctions between doing business, doing politics, or doing human rights. Everything is quite dangerous.
These are the people who are exposing the truth about political persecution in Russia. A large community comprising thousands of volunteers across the country. Smartly organized, they find innovative solutions to surmount challenges to civil society.
It's getting worse and worse. So when we started 10 years ago, it was completely different legislation, and now it's much more restrictive and very aggressive one. Random attack, I would describe it as well. Sometimes very brutal one with the beating. This is, I believe, this is their strategy, just to scare the people. So instead of instead of protecting freedom of speech, they actually do the very opposite.
For 10 years, OVD-Info has systematically mapped out arrests and abuses against people who try to peacefully protest the authoritarian regime in Russia.
OVD-Info, оператор Олег, добрый день. Задержали только что. А вы уже в автозаке?
As soon as demonstrations or opposition meetings are organized, the telephones at OVD-Info's contact center start running hot with reports of mass arrests and police brutality. This year alone, OVD-Info's registered almost 23,000 cases of arrests in connection with peaceful demonstrations.
When police demonstrate this brutality by beating young people just for nothing, and also within staying at police departments there was also some tortures and some brutality, and of course a lot of violations of human rights, etc. And after this crackdown, the state started to work on independent media, NGOs and political bodies, also trying to stop them from their activity, and many organizations has been under huge pressure and still are.
Владимир Владимирович Путин.
Under Vladimir Putin's rule, the space for human rights defenders and independent journalists has shrunk to a minimum. Repressive laws have further limited freedom of assembly and expression. Anyone who takes to the streets to protest risks sizable fines or imprisonment. OVD-Info has been described as a lifeline for arrested protesters and victims of political persecution. The organization plays a key role in spreading fact-based information to the outside world about what's happening in today's Russia, and they also help with legal assistance in court cases.
And what we've faced this year in January and February, it was a huge protest around the whole country in 200 cities, and the police was very brutal to cancel all these events and to detain people. It was more than 17,000 people in many cities were detained, and as a result more than 150 were arrested under these criminal charges.
Despite the depressing developments in Russia, OVD-Info is still convinced that the emerging civil society in the country will keep growing and eventually force the authoritarian regime to respect and uphold democracy and human rights in the country.
I have no dream, I have plans, and I'm quite sure that in long run Russian civil society will be stronger than this repressive state apparatus. I don't know when it will happen, but I'm sure that it will be like that. And what we are doing, we are supporting those people who are dreaming about it, who are doing something to make this happen. It won't be easy, but in some day people will take the responsibility and they will build real institutional framework to protect human rights in Russia.